Hello everyone, warm welcome to Accenture. It's fantastic to see you on this event. And actually we are really huge company, more than 2,000 people working with us. And it's on the one hand, it's a challenge, it is superpower, but we're ready for this challenge. We're doing our best. And we also always welcome new talents. New blood, and in general, here you can meet almost any disruptive technology, quantum computing, virtual reality, any sort of project. So these walls from web, they are truly fantastic. So 100 years history of innovation. But in general, our CEO is from New York, Julie Sweet, second, one of the most powerful women in the world. So once again, dear colleagues, welcome to Accenture. And today, maybe let's speak about DataOps, about superpowers of DataOps, how we can leverage it in our projects, and is it really myth or reality, or maybe there is no DataOps at all? I don't know. You tell me. You know. So in general, my surname translates. As cheerful in English or jautrais in Latvian, so I'm absolutely positive guy, and today I have only one rule: no secrets from DevClub. So you can ask me any questions you want. I worked more than 5 years at Accenture, and ready to provide you as much as possible insights. So first, let's think and let's talk a little bit about automation. So currently, what drives technical project forward? What helps us insert value out of it? Definitely it is automation. So as you see, 46% of respondents online answer that, yeah, it is really so. So maybe question to you, at your companies, how many of you use automation? So raise your hands.
What do you mean by automation?
Well, different automation tools, for example, CI/CD pipeline, scripts. Okay, super. So I'm in the right place, in the right point of history. 10 years ago I could not imagine to be speaking at such fantastic audience, but now it's reality, and yeah. So I'm a kind of technical geek. And yeah, so speaking about challenges, definitely there are visionary challenges, company challenges, huge challenges, and also our people's challenges as developers challenges. So maybe today I'm speaking more as a developer, as a person who meets day-to-day problems, who solve these problems, sometimes who does not know how to solve these problems. It's also normal situation, day-to-day bugs, day-to-day problems, and of course, apart from visionary challenges, we also play developers' games. So, which kind of games? As I promised you, I will be pretty straightforward. So first, maybe game feeding the sharks. So how many of you use GitHub? Okay, how many? It would be proper question. How many do not use GitHub, right? So, in general, getting approvals for your code, getting approvals for your work is definitely a challenge. And the bigger project becomes, the bigger challenges we face. So sometimes it's like climbing the mountains and putting your arm in the mouth of a shark. But then. Another challenge appears for me as developer, of course. I call it game dependency highlanders. So imagine some Scottish guys on the highlands who are moving up and down on the hills. By the way, who knows how many hills there are and mountains in Scotland? Any guess? Wild guess. Okay, around 2,000. So a lot, yes. But I think that in reality we have that amount of dependencies in our projects, and sometimes we need to guess which version is the best for us at this given moment. Then we push the code, We compile, we build the project, and we see, okay, we don't need actually airflow of 2.9, 2.9, let's downgrade to 1.7. And then comes client and tells you, oh no, sorry guys, we have strict requirements, 2.3 or nothing. So, so ups and downs, they're always in reality. Another, I would say, quite fun thing is CI/CD pipeline Olympic Games. So I call it Olympic Games because sometimes the amount of challenges which you face during setting up, say, GitHub Actions or coding proper scripts, and when you have maybe competition between teams, then it's also always gives you additional, I would say, sporting spirit and motivation as well. So this game I would call Olympic Games. Then strategy. Well, whoever deployed projects to production, to live environment, maybe remembers that there is always strategy, tactics. So how we deliver our project to clients. So how to ensure that our project exactly meets the goals. So on the one hand, it's team sports, right? So we work as a team, and there are a lot of ways how to deliver product, which way to choose. And yeah, so here maybe there is a trick, there is an answer. I promise you I will start giving you answers in 2 slides. So that's maybe one of the most boring one, but in reality, without strategy, no deployments, no delivery, and by the way, for us, for Accenture, quality is paramount. So we prefer quality over quantity. And after strategy is done, we play next game, heavy lifting deployments. So yeah, sometimes they become very hard to deploy, and when you forget nuances, even disaster might happen. Oh yeah, by the way, yesterday I found a bug in production. One component still has 20 days, is already 20 days outdated. So deployments, it's a challenge, and we are ready to say overcome it, but with some efforts in mind and in brain. So why do you ask these questions? So why do we face these challenges, and how do we overcome it, and what are potential solutions? So DataOps. So in general, DataOps is a set of principles. If we take a look on it from the developer perspective, it gives us some superpower in teamwork, in team play, and in general, it's purely scalable paradigm. So from small project teams to huge project. So who can guess what is the average number of people at Accenture projects working? Any numbers? 8, okay. Any?
70.
70, okay.
30.
30.
40.
40. Well, the right answer was 8, so that's why the right guess in general. But yeah, we of course have huge projects as well. So, but in general, at our company, we also use Scrum. Most teams are Scrum, so kind of classics, and that's why also for us it's very simple to adopt DataOps principles, which in general meant for Scrum teams. And here, when we speak about DataOps, we speak not only about technologies, but about mind shift, about culture of development, about delivery, about speed of analytics, of how fast we deliver data and products to our clients. So, and on the one hand, these are two contradictory things, isn't it? So that in theory must contradict to each other. But on the other hand, in reality, when you start to implement these principles in reality, they work in a synergy all together. So where we are right now. So most of us are somewhere there. So if we speak about companies, so in general, maturity level is not pretty high. However, companies in Latvia more or less are leaning towards good progress. And I was promised to have a hard talk and holy war from Edgar's and maybe other developers, as I love to call DataOps a specialty. So maybe raise your hands who believe that DataOps is a specialty in programming as a profession. Okay, not much. 2 and 3, me as well. So maybe I'm also that crazy person. So in general, if we look at the day-to-day activities of what developers doing at projects, those who are engaged most probably in data engineering and DataOps, then you will see that DataOps principles more or less correlate and integrate with it, such as orchestration, version control, monitoring quality performance, analytics, and also value working analytics. So all these principles, they kind of merge. So I would say DataOps is in the center between data engineering and DevOps. By the way, how many DevOps are here? Who is DevOps?
Once again, define DevOps.
Whatever is your job title.
Yes, so in general, say if you apply DataOps principles to data engineering, sorry, automation principles to data engineering, it will be design, build, maintain. If to DataOps is to improve efficiency and effectiveness of solutions. So you see, small difference on the one hand, however, it matters. Regarding, by the way, regarding DevOps, it's also a very interesting discussion, and I also kind of know that this profession was introduced only recently, and actually maybe 1 or 2 universities in Latvia actually teach DevOps, if I'm not mistaken, Riga Technical University and maybe Latvian University as well. Not sure about others. So, if when we combine data, operations, quality, deployment, swift deployment, rapid deployment of data delivery to customers, then in the end on the verge we have DataOps and improved scalability. In general, landscape of data engineering and programming changes from, say, rapidly. And question to you, how many of you use generative AI, Gen AI in your profession on an everyday basis? Okay, so if it's half, yeah, but still we use it a lot. At some point we ask question. Some are doing co-piloting. So question maybe, who believes that Gen AI will replace developers? Are there such people? No. Okay, well, yeah, we will do then documentation. We will work on documentation. Okay, Gen AI also can do documentations. Yeah, in general, I hope that's very good that I'm in the club of optimists right now, and that in general, Gen AI, in reality, it of course supports us, and we use Gen AI to enhance our pipelines, to find solutions. I will show you in a couple of slides how we apply it in practice, in reality, at our day-to-day life. So, but landscape is changing dramatically. So new professions appear, new challenges appear, and we need to think also how to stay competitive, how to solve these contradictions between, say, reality on the market, what clients expect from us, because clients always expect quality, and here of course we need to be on the top. So. A little bit maybe on data life cycle before I will proceed. So because it's important. When I speak about data life cycle, it means collect, ingest, blend, transfer, publish, and distribute data. And then if you take a look at DataOps cycle, hello, yes, gentlemen, ladies, there is also DataOps cycle around. In general, it is pretty close to DevOps. Yes, so DataOps cycle starts with continuous integration, then testing, orchestration, development, planning, deploying, releasing, monitoring, optimizing, and getting feedback. So see how close it is to DevOps. Maybe there is also one huge problem in programming currently. We have a lot of jargon, a lot of buzzwords. Some people even believe there is no big data. So there is big data, there is no big data. And I second your idea about DevOps, that also it's very vague definition. But as we move forward, this helps us adapt also to client needs and to client demands as well. Let's walk through a small automation story. Yes, sir.
Why cycle started from continuous integration?
So it's very good question. So in general, because cycle potentially, my humble opinion, it can start from any point. Yes, so technically it can start from planning. Yeah, so but in this case we use continuous integration, because in general continuous integration is in the basis of operation. It's not possible to align with DataOps principles without continuous integration. So technically no version control, no integration, no CI/CD pipeline. This means no DataOps cycle, because it will not correspond to DataOps principles.
Thanks.
Okay, so and let's discuss real problems. Again, sharks a lot. I love sharks. Met them once in Australia, in Sydney, or swimming with them. So enabling continuous integration. Problem dependency updates. So maybe who of you at least once met problems kind of aligning all dependencies together? Super. Yeah. So me as well. I can put two hands up. And in general, in the past, say couple of years ago, especially before GenAI introduction, but before that time it was already prehistoric times. Well, I don't know what is closer. Events that happened 100 years ago or 2 years ago with ChatGPT, hell no. So, but in reality, nowadays we use automated GitHub Actions. So we use also such tools as Dependabot. Maybe you know or not, Dependabot is part of GitHub as well. We enhance it also with GenAI at some point, and in the end, currently we also reach that situation that our scripts automatically raise pull requests with all recompiled dependency, and depending on project setup, either it's approved by developers or it's automatically merged, and also depending on context, of course. Next, testing. So testing is very good question, and there is a hard debate also between us, say developers. In reality, who should conduct testing? I can tell you one hard truth, as I told you before speech, that I will be honest with you. So in our project, there are no testers anymore. So no testers, no single tester, no QA. So we are all developers. We are doing like everything. So we are testing. We are responsible for delivery code. We're responsible for setting up CI/CD pipeline. So for doing analytics. Of course, roles are different, but technically there is no QA team anymore. No single team, at least in our project. And that also happened thanks a lot to, at some point, to GenAI, because with the help of GenAI, we were able to, first of all, to create test cases, to create unit tests automatically, to integrate these unit tests later into the CI/CD pipeline, and now technically we already don't need QA team, save a lot of time and efforts. So, but of course, it's up to you to decide if it is good change or not good change. But from commercial perspective, it's good. So orchestration. Orchestration is also basic principle of DataOps, and problems. Of course, there are a lot of problems. There was a bunch of, I would say, manual deployments a lot of unresolved crises, problems between teams, unalignment. It's in reality, guys, it creates havoc. I would say this even word, havoc. So sometimes it creates havoc. But thanks to such tools as Airflow, for example, plus Microsoft Azure combination or any other cloud, currently we are able to overcome such problems. Development. Of course, development process also changed. So technically now we have AI assistants. So some projects have custom AI assistants. Sometimes we use Copilot, sometimes we use ChatGPT. By the way, they released a couple of days ago ChatGPT 4.0, which is new model, kind of quite robust. And quality, of course, increased. We spend less time on development. Code is much of better quality, and clients are also much more happier. Of course, I also noticed such tendency that in reality, say companies, they demand more from developers now because they know that we need to spend less time on coding, so they demand more. There is also such tendency as well. But I hope that it will not completely scrutinize our work. Planning. So, who of you were doing research spikes at projects? Okay, not too much, yeah, but in general, those people who ever did research know that it might take a lot of time, say from days even to months, in order to do quality research. And of course, nowadays, thanks to automated pipelines and also Gen AI, sometimes we can even not to use spikes and research at all, maybe on some minimal level. So it helps a lot. Deployment. As I told you, it's sports, it's powerlifting, yes. So sometimes when you have 200 or more dependencies bound into one project, it becomes completely madness. And maybe if you will ask me, hi Alex, what is the superpower of Accenture, and why actually, for example, what is benefit of working at large company? I can honestly tell you complexity. It's very good to work at large company because you can work with very, very complex projects and say technologies which are not available to startups. Yeah, so, by the way, in Latvia we also have one quantum computer at least part of it at Latvian University. So I would say we are in the right time and right place in history right now. So, and deployment, what's the ultimate goal of automation and integration of DataOps plus Gen AI principles to get rid of manual deployments. No manual deployments, no human errors. So deployment is exactly the point when it can be and it must be fully automated. Then release generation. So I don't know. How many of you like, I want to underline, who love and like to write documentation? Are there such people? Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6, but yeah, I'm 7. Yeah, so, well, I'm total fan of you guys, I'm your heroes. I can't tell it about me, so writing documentation and also creating changelog, release notes, track it. When you have hundreds of versions, oh, it becomes real nightmare. So in general, thank you to Gen AI, we can automate this point right now, and that's fantastic. Another aspect is, of course, monitoring, because most of defects, most of bugs, most of mistakes, logic issues with our solutions, they jump out during monitoring, performance monitoring, scalability monitoring, and in general also say, for example, how to automate messaging in your project. In our case, we integrated ours with OpsGenie and done it yourself. So huge white bear is performance optimization. Well, I will even make dramatical pause here because I don't know how many hours in my career or even years I spent on different optimization techniques, and say thanks to Snowflake technology, now we have such solutions which are fully scalable. In general, the powerhouse of DataOps principles adoption is that any script that you develop must be scalable. And meaning it is produced by small teams, say by 2 or 3 developers, but then it can be scaled to the huge, large, complex solution and applied almost to any project with any complexity. And the same with optimization. Currently it's very good because we can integrate it together with monitoring system and be proactive. And also proactiveness is key here, and Gen AI helps us to mitigate problems in advance. Maybe last but not least, also storage optimization. This is such fantastic end who is like on the one hand insect, but on the other hand it's backbone of any data engineering solution. So what storage to choose, how to choose it, and especially when you see queries with 3,000 lines of code, well, okay, somehow we need to optimize. Let's call Gen AI and it will help us, maybe. Yeah. So finally, analytics optimization as well. For that we used Snowflake technology, and we had huge problems that services were separated by different platforms. So platforms, how to connect them. Maybe data warehouse and data lake is key. And by the way, I don't work for Snowflake, so maybe in the future. So, but still, I promote this technology as it is, I believe, absolutely fantastic. And finally, one of the last steps is getting feedback. So, in the past 3 years ago, we used to have a lot of writing, manual incident creation, manual commenting, tracking these comments. It's also a nuisance. And right now, we're able to detect all these changes, for example, automatically. So, by the way, all images in this presentation also were created thanks to generative AI. I hope I'm not created with generative AI, hopefully not, but you can contact me at LinkedIn, ask questions, and yeah, thank you everyone. Ready. So ready to answer your questions. Yes.
How fast you are going from one business feature to another one? Like how many iterations of all the cycle you are doing?
Good question. So in general,
Months, I don't know, weeks or?
Yeah. So of course, obvious answer would be depending on the size of the size of feature, right? But it's obvious and maybe not very interesting answer. So let me give you some more insights. In general, I would say we have one iteration, then one review process for each feature, then we deploy it, and also nowadays we automate this process. So technically, as a developers, we really don't feel this cycle. I would answer it this way. Yes, or?
What is the percentage of resource wasted, let's call it wasted, on that? Because at the end of the day, there is a client who needs to be convinced to pay for it, right? For that sort of automation. It was always a problem. Does Gen AI maybe helps to explain to customer why the budget should be good? How do you estimate what is the share of this automation in the overall expense of the team?
Well, it's a fantastic question. Thank you very much. Problem is absolutely relevant. Problem is still there. Of course, it didn't disappear. And in general, nowadays, we also need, as I mentioned, to prove clients how many hours of work we do in reality, because clients, the same as we do, they know that we use Gen AI tools. It's obvious, it's nice, it's fun. Yeah, but of course, by the way, we create use cases also for client using generative AI. And in general, nowadays, I would say it became more convenient to explain to clients value. So there is a shift, positive shift, but still problem is there. Yeah. Okay, you then you.
You mentioned using generative AI specifically for generating tests and such. What is the trust factor for the result of this generation? You have to re-verify everything, reread, recheck it.
Mm-hmm. So blunt answer will be at least once we recheck, of course. At least once we recheck everything that Gen AI creates, even if it is specifically tailored for a project needs. So because there are already models which use existing code, and for them it's very, very fast and very simple to produce, to generate already working unit tests. But I can answer the same question to you. How much do you trust people in the project to for example, qualification of testers? The same question. And how much time do we need actually to educate people, to learn, to spend time on education, to prepare one quality assurance specialist, and to educate with the project infrastructure? It can take months. And Gen AI can start working right away without this preparation. So, yep.
Related question to the QA. So I got an impression that you got rid of the whole QA team.
Yep.
Is this like widely applied, or that's a specific project?
Specific project.
Specific project. Why
Yeah. No, I told only about. I'm speaking right now about project which I'm
It felt a bit weird without integration testing and user acceptance somewhere, and how do you solve that there? That's not applicable in that scenario.
You mean integration tests?
Yeah.
Unit
tests are fine, right?
But unit tests, they are fine. With unit tests, there are no real problem, and no almost minimum efforts to double check. With integration tests, it's of course more complex, and some part of it is still written by QA team, which is right now not there. But yes, in reality, it's applicable for integration tests as well. It depends on how much of your solution you can share with Gen AI, if it's a specific model for your project, or say you're using some public tools. Because definitely, for example, it's not recommended to share, say, client data or any sensitive code with Gen AI, right?
Thank you.
So back in the days, maybe like 10 years ago, there was this Watson, IBM Watson, and we had at CTCO quite an extensive use of that, and we had the legal obligations not to expose anything interesting there. And so what is your experience with this tool? So you're running that AI on your private cluster, on your VPC? How does it work?
Mm-hmm. So there are, first of all, there are different versions of Gen AI. There are some versions of Gen AI adopted by our clients. For example, our client for which we work, they are also,
or I don't know, private.
It's private. They kind of trade private model that doesn't use any our client, and we can use that model as well, for example. Yeah, and also we have such use cases as well at Accenture. In some cases, our teams develop such products, and as well we use enterprise versions. So, for example, Microsoft enterprise versions, they don't use any sensitive data, so they don't save, don't store anything. But for that, you need to obtain a kind of private contract with them.
So in this case, every new conversation, every new prompt will start from tabula rasa.
No, it should not be. If you're using enterprise version, for example, from Microsoft Bing,
Yes.
it will
It will remember previous conversations.
yes, but this conversation belong to your company.
Okay.
Alexei, I have a question. Which chocolate do you prefer, dark or milk?
Dark.
Dark.
So, yeah, in general, it's of course very interesting, very carving path. Let's see how far we will go with Gen AI. But I think that we should not be afraid of changes, afraid of challenges, and let's use it as a superpower, not as a fear.